There's just one story. The oldest. Okay. Light versus dark.
There's something sacred about light. It doesn't beg for attention. It simply exists. And when the darkness surrounds, its presence is enough to change everything. We weren't always in the dark. We were made for light. The scripture says, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light." Ephesians 5:8. Notice, it doesn't say you were in darkness. It says you were darkness. That's not accusation. That's transformation. Because if you were once darkness, you can become something else. Today, though, it feels like the dark is winning. You feel it when you scroll, when you lie awake, when the world spins and no one seems to notice the unraveling, the chaos, the numbness, the headlines, the hate. And you wonder, where's the light? Is it still here? It's just one story, the oldest, light versus dark. Rust Cola, true detective. And it looks like the dark has a lot more territory, more noise, more reach. But that's the trick, isn't it? To confuse presence with power. To confuse volume with truth. Because light doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to show up. Let me ask you something. If you walk into a room and it's pitch black, what happens the moment you flip the switch? The darkness doesn't argue. It doesn't retreat slowly. It doesn't linger for one last word. It disappears immediately, effortlessly. Because darkness doesn't have substance. It only exists in the absence of light. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden." Matthew 5:14. He wasn't talking to the famous or the perfect. He was talking to the broken, the overlooked, the ordinary. You are the light, not your success, not your image, you. But that light, it's constantly under attack, not always with violence, sometimes with silence, the kind of silence that makes you question your value, your identity, your reason for waking up again. The dark doesn't need to defeat you. It only needs to make you forget who you are. That's what Steiner warned us about. Materialism is the death of the soul. He wasn't condemning science. He was reminding us that when we strip the world of spirit, we lose more than wonder. We lose ourselves. Because you weren't made to survive in shadows. You were made to glow. Still, some days, you feel it, the ache, the quiet war inside you. You try to keep the flame alive, but it flickers, and you wonder if it's enough. Let me say this clearly. It is. Even a flicker is defiance. Even a whisper of light changes the shape of the dark. Because here's the thing. Darkness spreads easily. It fills space without effort. It's passive, lazy, invasive. But light must choose to shine. Light must remember what it is. And because of that, a single light holds more power than 1,000 shadows. You don't need to fix the world. You just need to stay lit. You just need to carry what's already inside you. You are the candle in the night. You are the city on the hill. And sometimes, you're the only proof someone else has that light still exists. This isn't about perfection. This is about presence. There's a kind of hope that limps. that bleeds, that barely speaks above a whisper, but it endures. And that kind of hope, that kind of light, is sacred resistance. To keep loving when you've been broken, to keep showing up when no one sees you, to forgive when it costs you something. That is light. That is power. That is war and peace. And the most beautiful part? Light multiplies. A candle loses nothing by lighting another. A soul is not diminished by sharing its spark. You might think what you carry is small, but someone else may be standing in total darkness. And your flame might be the first warmth they've felt in years. So if you're tired, if you're uncertain, if the dark feels endless, I need you to know, you are not the dark. You were once darkness, but now you are light, and the light still wins. It might not feel like it. It might not look like it. But the light isn't measured by appearances. It's measured by truth. And the truth is this: you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still burning. And every moment you remember that, the shadows retreat. Because darkness has no voice, no future, no story. It only survives when the light forgets itself. But you are not forgotten. You are the story. You are the flame in the fog, the star in the night, the match that turns a silent room into a sanctuary. So light the candle, pass the flame, and when it gets dark, really dark, don't panic. That just means your light will shine even brighter.
Appears to me that the dark has a lot more territory. Yeah. You're right about that. You know, you're looking at her on the sky thing. How's that? Well, once there was only dark. Let me ask any lights winning.